Hello, and welcome back to Swahili 21st Century. I am Dr. Chopin, your host and teacher. Today we're going to look at the Swahili verb part 4. But as our custom is, we must do our practice sentences. So the assignment was to create your own sentences using the above verbs, kuwa and kuwana. Now, you did your own verbs or your own sentences, and here are my sentences. This is just a suggestion. Let's look at the first sentence. I have a child. Nina mtoto. Nina mtoto. They have a house. Mwana nyumba. Mwana nyumba. We have a television. Tuna runinga. Tuna runinga. I am an artist. Mimi ni mwana sanaa. Mimi ni mwana sanaa. You all are athletes. That is, you all are not athletes. You all are not athletes. Nyinyi si mwana riadha. Nyinyi si mwana riadha. The doctor does not have a phone. Daktari hana simu. Daktari hana simu. Okay, well, hopefully your sentences are something like this, all in the present tense and using the verbs kuwa and kuwana. Let's move on. So now we want to look at what is called the prepositional extension. In Swahili, the prepositional extension is used when a person does something for someone else. And this extension is attached to the verb. So let's look at an English sentence first. This English sentence reads, Mother is cooking hamburgers for the children. Clearly, mother is doing something for someone else. So if we break the sentence down into its structural parts, mother is the subject, cooking is present tense progressive, and that's the verb. Hamburgers are the direct object. Hamburgers are hamburgers, that's a noun. For is the preposition. And the children, they are the indirect object. So now we're going to take this same sentence and we're going to say it in Swahili. Again, the English is mother is cooking hamburgers for the children. So a Swahili person using the Kiunguja dialect would say, Mama anawapikia watoto hamburger. Instead of the sentence in Swahili translating out to say mother is cooking hamburgers for the children, in Swahili the direct translation would be mother is cooking for the children hamburgers. Now the reason that's important is because the children being a even though it's an indirect object, you have an object marker in that connected to that verb, and the object marker must always be close to the object that it is relevant to. So when you look at the sentence a little bit closely, you have ana wa, the wa in the verb ana wapikia. The wa goes with watoto, children. Wa goes with watoto. So the sentence had to be changed around to accommodate that requirement. So again, mother is cooking for the children hamburgers. Mama anawapikia watoto hamburger. Okay, let's go on. So when you use the prepositional form of the verb, unlike the object marker, which is prefixed to the front end of the verb, the back end of the verb receives a suffix. These suffixes change based on which vowel the verb ends in. For example, whether it's A, E, I, O, or U. This might be a good time to invest in a good quality Swahili dictionary, as they already have the prepositional extensions in them. However, there are rules to help the learner construct the verb without using a dictionary. And if I find that there is a particular student that is following these lessons and is faithful, I can send him or her a Swahili dictionary. Actually, it's an online Swahili dictionary, and it's 1,000 pages. It has a lot of words in it. Okay, so let's look at the dictionary form of the verb cook. That dictionary form is pika, P-I-K-A. It's pronounced pika, pika. However, when you want to talk about changing that dictionary form to the prepositional form, there's something you have to do to the verb. So what is cook, pika, becomes cook for pikia. And now you have your prepositional form. So before we can even consider understanding prepositional forms, we have to do a little bit more practice in syllables. So let's look at the Swahili syllable. According to Google, a syllable is a unit of pronunciation having one vowel sound with or without surrounding consonants. This is important to remember in learning Swahili, as words have double vowels and each vowel is treated as a separate syllable. For example, the word ka means sit or stay. If you tell a person sit down, if it's command, you can just say ka to them. Or if you want to say I stay in Chicago, whatever, you can use the verb ka. This 3-letter word has 2 syllables. The K-A is the first syllable and the A by itself is the second syllable. So this is an example of when the definition says that the pronunciation occurs when there's consonants with syllables, or it's just a vowel by itself. Consonants with vowels or a vowel by alone. So the first verb we have on the screen is la. It consists of 1 syllable. La means eat. La. The next one is pika, consists of 2 syllables. It means cook. The next one is fungua. Fungua. It has 3 syllables and it means open. You say open the door. Fungua mlango. Open the door. Fungua mlango. And then the last one is sikiliza. It consists of 4 syllables. It means listen. I use this verb a lot in the classroom. If the students get distracted, I will say to them, if I'm talking to one person, I'll say sikiliza tafadhali. Say listen please. Or if I'm talking to more than one student, I will say sikilizeni, sikilizeni tafadhalini. All y'all listen, please. Okay. So let's look at the rules to form prepositional extensions, since you probably don't have a Swahili grammar book or textbook. These rules are pretty standard and they're reliable. So we're looking at the Bantu verb first. And now this Bantu verb, you have to remember, ends in the letter A. Okay? Now, if you have a Bantu verb that ends in the letter A, all you have to do is insert the suffix I in front of the A. So what is cook, pika, becomes cook for pikia. Pikia. Cook, pika, cook for pikia. Now, but if the Bantu verb has an O in the second to last syllable, then you just add an E. So what is read or study? Soma becomes read or study for somea. Somea. If the Bantu verb has a Y in front of the A, insert E. So what is heal? Ponya becomes heal for ponyea. 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 Now, if the Bantu verb has a double vowel, like two A's, or AA, IA, or UA, then you insert LI in front of the A. So what is open, fungua, becomes open for fungulia. Fungulia. You just follow these rules. You get yourself some Swahili verbs. Ask me for some, I will give you some. And trust me, they will work for you every time. The rules will work every time. So let's look at some non-Bantu verbs and what are the rules to form them into prepositional extensions. Well, the rules for Bantu verbs, these are verbs that end in I, E, or U. And I have not seen any Swahili verb that ends in O yet. Okay, there are words that you can put together, more than one word that you can put together to form a verb, and one of those words might end in an O. But just to have a plain old Swahili verb end in O, I haven't seen that as yet. If anybody knows any, please feel free to share it with me. So if the non-Bantu verb ends in I, just add an A. So return, which is rudi, turns out to be return for rudia. Rudia. Okay, all you got to do is add an A. If the non-Bantu verb ends with a U, drop the U and then add IA. So what is answer? Jibu becomes answer for jibia. Jibia. And then if the non-Bantu verb ends with an E, just add an A to the back of that E. So what is forgive? Samehe becomes forgive for samehea. Samehea. Okay, hopefully you got that. So now let's look at the monosyllabic verbs because they have their unique structure. And so you got to remember there's not a lot of monosyllabic verbs. I think I've exhausted the list. So you can be pretty much confident that all the ones that are on the screen are those that exist. So let's start with the first one. All you have to, and you notice all of them end in the letter A. So you do the same, you just follow the same rule. You insert the I just before the A. So ja, which means come, becomes Gia. La, which is eat, becomes Lia. Gua, which is fall down, becomes Guia. Die, which is fa, becomes Thea. Be or become, which is wa, becomes wea or wea. And I put there on the screen wea preferred because the word wea, W-I-A, it actually, there's a verb that is spelled W-I-A and it means owe. Like you say, I owe her money or she owes me money. That's, you use that verb, wea. So wea would be preferred, but both of them would be correct. Both of them would be correct. Give, which is pa, becomes pea, not pia, but pea. So that's different. Noa, or drink, which is noa, becomes nwea, nwea. Fear or be afraid, which is cha, becomes chelea, chelea. And dawn, or be morning, which is also cha, becomes chea. So if you take those verbs down, keep a list of them, and that's how you'll know you can put them in prepositional form. You'll have them for use. So let's go ahead and use these prepositional extensions in some sentences. So I've chosen 4 verbs. The first one, the verbs that I've chosen are to the right of the screen. They're in capital letters and they are red. The first one is soma. For those of you who remember what soma means, it is study or read. Safisha means clean. Saini means sign, like sign your name. You can see that that has the sound of an English word like sign, saini. And then chungua. Chungua means to inspect or investigate. So let's form a sentence in English and then translate it in Swahili using those verbs and attaching prepositional extensions. The queen is reading for the king. Malkia anamsomea mfalme. The queen is reading for the king. Malkia anamsomea mfalme. She is cleaning for them. Anawasafishia. She is cleaning for them. Your wife is signing for you. Mke wako anakusainia. Mke wako anakusainia. Your wife is signing for you. The inspectors are not investigating for us. Wachunguaji hawatuchungulia. Wachunguaji hawatuchungulia. The inspectors are not investigating for us. Now that last sentence is a lot, but the thing that I've realized that as an English speaker, the muscles in my mouth and just the way my brain works has to pattern itself after the way the East African would form his words. So get used to it. Just say it over and over and over again, and it'll become natural for you. Of course, we have to take a visit to East Africa too. So let's do some independent practice sentences. That's for your homework. You will do that by yourself. And you have enough skill to do that. Excuse me. So your first sentence is, the teacher is buying books for the students. The preacher is praying for the people. The artist is drawing a picture for him. Sister is writing a letter for father. Eddie Kenzo is he's singing for the audience. Now, Eddie Kenzo is a famous East African singer. I love his music. You might want to get on YouTube and get in the search engine and find out, listen to some of his music. One of the special songs he has written that's made him very famous is called Sitya Los. It's spelled Sitya and then Loss. He has a dance and everything. This brother's fly. I really like him. Eddie Kenzo is singing for the audience. Michael Jackson is not dancing for the fans. God rest his soul, Brother Michael. The youth are bringing pop for the guests. The children are cleaning the car for their parents. Now, what I've given you is some vocabulary. I don't want to let you be out there and have to try to figure out how to put certain words together, because there are a lot of words in those sentences that I've never given you before. So you have chora for draw, safisha for clean, hubiri for preacher, wanasana for artist, picha for picture, imba sing, sali pray, dada, sister, mpenzi, fan, barua, letter, hadira, audience, kijana, youth, soda, pop, mgeni, guest, wazazi wao, which is their parents, cheza, dance, nunua, buy, and leta, bring. Now I want to give you a hint. I have given you the words in the singular form. So if the sentence is written in the plural form, it'll be your responsibility to change the noun from the singular to the plural. Okay, so that you'll have to do that. That's part of your skill. Okay. Just want to let you know that in Swahili, there are other verbal extensions which will they'll be taught later. One of them is the causative extension, and it has these extensions like I, SHA, E, SHA, or Z. That means that the verb will have those types of endings. And a causative extension sends the message in the sentence that something was caused to happen. Okay, and I'll show you an example sentence for each one of these in a moment after I go through them. Then you have the passive extension. That extension will end in a W. Not end in a W by itself. It'll have a vowel after it, but a W. It'll be WA usually most of the time. And this extension sends the message that something is being acted upon rather doing the acting. Something is being acted upon rather doing the acting. Then you have the reciprocal extension, ANA, pronounced ana, ana. That means that the action is being done together. Whoever is doing the action, it's happening they're doing it together. Then there is the reversive extension, that has the U in it, and the action is in the reverse. Okay, so whatever this is, we're doing the reverse of it. And then finally, you have the stative extension, usually has that K in the end of the verb. And it speaks to that there is the noun or the subject of the sentence speaking about the current condition of the noun or the potential to be or do something. So let's look at a sentence using all of those other extensions. So, causative, mother made me eat my food. Yeah, because you weren't going to eat it, so she caused you, she compelled you to do it. So that would be a causative sentence. Mother made me eat my food. Next is the car was driven by the man. That's passive because the car didn't drive itself. It was driven. There was action taken upon the car by the man, and the car moved. Then the children are fighting each other. It's not that one child is being beat down by another, is that these children are fighting each other. They're fighting. One is throwing a blow, and another one is throwing a blow back. Then the dentist extracted the tooth, and the dentist inserted the tooth. So the reverse of the dentist extracting the tooth is the dentist inserting the tooth. So there are these verbs that have you in them, and then sometimes the you is removed. I can think of a wonderful example. We talked about the word open, the Swahili word open, which is fungua. You notice that word is spelled Fungua. Okay? Fungua. But the reverse of open is to close. So when you say close in Swahili, you remove the U and you say funga, which is close. So fungua, Fungua, Fungua is open, and then the reverse of open is to close, is Funga. Okay. And then lastly, which is an example of the status, this glass, the potential for it to be in a certain condition. The glass is broken. This is the condition of the glass. It's broken. So that sentence, if you were to write it in Swahili, it would have a K in the near the end, or inserted in the near the verb at the end of the verb. Or if the glass is not broken, it definitely is breakable. Okay, so that's your stative sentence. Now, as I've already indicated, we'll study these later on because I do want to talk with you about some other things. And those things are important for you to be able to speak the language to someone in your world. Okay, so I want to thank everyone for watching the video and tell a friend. And you and the friend subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions, use the comment section below and I'll answer the questions as soon as possible. Asanteni. Thank you, everyone. Up next is the Swahili adjective. That's what we need to do. So you want to describe your nouns. You want to say, my mother made me eat my food, because the sentence that you saw today, it just says mother made me eat my food. So you might want to express yourself a little bit more, modify your nouns. My mother made me eat my food, or the man is wearing the red shirt. My is an adjective, and red, using that sentence, acts as an adjective. So up next is the Swahili adjective. We want you to remember that these Swahili classes are sponsored by the Center for Education in Black History, Theater, and Research. And please follow us on Facebook. And as they say in East Africa,